Hi, welcome to the British English Hub. I'm Paul. Last lesson we spoke about past simple regular forms. In this session we're going to talk about past simple irregular forms. So we're going to talk about irregular verbs constructing a past tense situation. Okay? Here we are back in our platform. And also today we're going to be looking at past tense questions with did. So that's the second part we're going to be looking at. This is for level elementary, okay? So on to the next slide. Remember, past tense signifies actions has finished. So it's the end of an action. You cannot go back and fix it. It's all done. It's the end of the road. It's past tense, okay? It cannot be changed, okay? And that's pretty uniform for most languages, actually. So it's not the same as right. So we're going to be talking about specifically irregular verbs. It's not the same as regular verbs. Remember that we had our session on regular verbs before. So when the past tense completely changes, is an irregular verb. So I've given you an example here. I go, I went. So go changes to went. Complete change. This is different from regular verbs. Remember, the endings change to ed. So here are just a reminder of some of the regular verbs we looked at. So play, played, decide, decided, work, worked, served, served. And we're going to be looking at those pronunciations in one of the following videos. So regular verbs are easier as everything ends in ed, so and irregular verbs are not like that. There's no ed ending in irregular verbs. We have around about 50% regular, 50% irregular. So it's a kind of like it's a solid balance, really, I think. Okay, so with irregular verbs, as I mentioned, there's a complete change. The ed doesn't exist. Okay, so was, were, okay, wake, woke, sing, sang, write, wrote, seesaw, make, made, choose, chose. These are just one of many irregular verbs. There are thousands of them, maybe even tens of thousands. There's a lot of verbs, and this is only a handful of them. Okay, just to give you some examples. So one thing about verbs in the English language is you must learn them. Okay, they just need to be learned, and you need to learn whether they're irregular or regular. It's something that you need to compute in your mind. Okay, so here we go. This is a text, okay, that I've given you as a task. Okay, what you've got to do is you've got to put in the missing irregular verb into the gap. So the gap fill exercise. So I'll do the first one for you. It's done for you, actually. I woke, wake. So I've done the first one for you. I woke, wake. So I woke up at late. Okay, I woke up late because my alarm clock didn't ring. So you've got to do the same with the rest. So I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. Okay, so please pause the video and do that in your own time. And here are the answers. Okay, so yesterday I was very busy. It was a very busy day for me. I woke up late because my alarm clock didn't ring. I quickly got dressed and ran to the bus stop, but I saw the bus leave just as I arrived. Since I had missed it, I chose to walk to school. On the way, I met my friend Anna, who gave me a sandwich. Very nice of her, because I forgot my breakfast at home, and I have done that many times myself, forgotten to eat my breakfast. When we finally came to class, the teacher began a surprise test. I wrote as quickly as I could, but I made a few mistakes. After school, we went to the park, swam in the lake. God, it must have been a hot day. And you don't normally do that in the UK, and had a lot of fun. At the end of the day, I felt tired but happy. Okay, so that's your answers. Okay, so past tense questions with did. So this is the second part of the lesson. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on these past tense questions. Now, with did. with did. So past tense questions with did only work with these question words. They're called question words. Who, what, how, when, where. Okay. These are standard question words that we use when we have did in the question. Now, did refers to an open question, not a closed question, an open question. Remember that, okay? Okay, and we'll talk about closed questions later, another time. I say, why did the writer wake up late? So the verb wake up remains as present tense in the question because of did. So we don't change the main verb. We don't say, why did the writer woke up late? We say, why did the writer wake up? So we stay with the present simple tense here, and then but we use did to suggest it is a past tense question, or a question referring to a past action. Okay, the verb wake up remains as past tense in a question, okay, because of did, and that's the reason why it stays as present. So did is the auxiliary verb, or what we call the helping verb. Wake up is the main verb. So I've color coded. Okay, the red is the auxiliary, the helping verb, and the blue is the main verb. Okay. Also, you can use do or does for present questions. Okay. But in this case, we're looking at past tense questions. Okay. So we're using did. And the good thing about questions, past tense questions with did, is did never changes. No matter what you refer to, it could be I, you, he, she, it, we, they. It always remains as did. It doesn't change. It's very, very easy. Okay. If there is an auxiliary verb in a question, this changes to past and the main verb remains present. This is the rule. This is what I have kept telling you. I've reiterated it, a few times now. Okay. Okay, and we only use the auxiliary verb here, did, in past questions when there is a main verb. Okay, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more closely. Okay, so here we go. What did you went today? So is that correct? Let's do a test. Okay, the answer is no, it's wrong. Good. I'm glad you all got that right. Okay, and why is it wrong? Why the correct? Obviously, the correct question is what did you go today? Sorry, I made a mistake. It should be where did you go today? Sorry. Let me change that. Where did you go today? Sorry, I made a proofreading mistake. Okay, so this is the correct version. Well done. Because of did, the main verb go stays present. So remember, that's where did you go today, not what did you go today. Okay. Okay, so here we go. One more thing. There isn't a main verb in a past question. We don't use did. So if there's no main verb in a question, we do not use did. Instead, we use the verb to be, which is, are, was, or were. Now, I'll give you some examples for this, actually. I'll give you some examples. Where's he from? Where were you last night? Remember, in these two questions, there's no verb. There's no verb. Where is he from? From is not a verb, it's a preposition. Where were you last night? Last night is not a verb. Okay, that's a time clause. So there's no verb in any of these questions, so we use is or were, the verb to be. So as you can see, there are no main verbs in these questions, so we don't use did. Simple as that, okay? So only when we use main verbs that we use did as an auxiliary. Okay, now let's check out these past tense questions. They're all referring to the text. Okay, all have main verbs and all have did. Here we are. So why did the writer wake up? Not woke up, wake up. What did the writer do after getting dressed? Okay. What did the writer see at the bus stop? Why did the writer choose to walk to school? Who did the writer meet on the way to school? What did Anna give the writer? Why did Anna give the writer a sandwich? And what did the teacher begin when the writer came to class? Can you answer those questions? See if you can answer them. I will, obviously, you can pause the video and I will give you the answers right now. Okay, and here they are. And these are the answers. So you can check the answers with the sample answers that I've provided on this very slide. Okay. Okay. Right, okay, questions in past with did. Okay, so this is just a summary. Question in past with did, question word. So that starts who, what, when, where, how. Plus did or didn't. You can use didn't as an auxiliary verb as well if you want to infer the negative. Plus noun, which could be my name, Paul. Pronoun he, for example. You can use either Paul or he or something else. Plus main verb, okay, plus what we call the adverbial phrase, which is the rest of the question. Could be to school or his homework. Why didn't he do his homework? Why didn't he do his homework? His homework would be the adverbial phrase. Or it could be, why didn't he go to school? Why didn't he go to school? To school being the adverbial phrase. Okay, it's the completion of the question. Okay, and at the end we have a question mark. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.